I read an interesting article today about the Millennium Bridge in London. It was a steel suspension bridge for pedestrian traffic crossing the River Thames in London. It was opened for pedestrian use in June of 2000, and right from the get-go, as pedestrians crossed it, they felt an uncomfortable swaying motion of the entire structure. In fact, the swaying was so pronounced that the bridge was closed after only 2 days. It took 2 years of retrofitting to get the bridge to a point where it was safe for pedestrian use. What had happened was the natural gait or swaying motion of people walking over the bridge produced minor oscillations from one side and then to the other, like the swinging of a pendulum in an old clock. Eventually, the swaying got to the point where the pedestrians were forced to walk in step. This caused the pendulum effect to increase and had the potential to cause the bridge to collapse. The bridge was closed in June 2000 and not reopened until February 2002, in which time the engineers had retrofitted the bridge with fluid viscous dampers and tuned mass dampers, which corrected the problem. But the granddaddy of oscillating suspension bridges has to be the Tacoma Narrows Bridge. Completed in July of 1940, it collapsed in November of the same year. The oscillations that precipitated the collapse were not caused by pedestrian or even vehicular traffic, but by the wind. This effect is now known as aeroelastic flutter, which is a fancy way of saying the bridge would sway and buckle in the wind. In fact, it would do this even in a mild wind. Right from the beginning, the builders knew they had a problem, and they had already formed a team of engineers from the University of Washington to solve it. But the bridge collapsed before any corrections could be implemented. So, the moral of the story is, don't overlook the small details.